Hello guys, I think we're live now. Welcome to the stream. Just gonna be doing some audio checks as it's usual. Welcome, and then we're good to go. So yeah, let's do that. Welcome to the stream. Just gonna be doing some audio checks as it's usual. Okay, I think the voice is good, and then I can hear myself. You guys can hear the music as well, which is not too bad. The only thing is that it seems to not be side-chaining with my voice, but you know, we're here anyway. So today we're going to be doing some more Golang. We're going to be working on the headless CMS that we've been working on in the past few streams. And the idea for today is to actually implement some sort of caching for the endpoints. This is something that I thought would be interesting to kind of implement and kind of see how other frameworks, how other CMSs do this. So for example, if you use WordPress, there's a million different plugins that will implement caching locally for web pages, for your posts, so that it doesn't have to take a long time to serve a request to a post, right? And the main idea behind caching is really that we calculate the request once. So if you're looking at something like, let me just turn it down a little bit. Turn it down a little bit here. Yeah, so if you're looking at something like a post where you may be getting the contents from a database and then a bunch of other database calls as well, like images and stuff, then it's sometimes worth it to save that HTML file that you served if it doesn't change, and then keep it in memory for a period of time. So in the subsequent requests to the same post, you just have the HTML ready to go and be served straight away without any database calls or anything like that. So yeah, let's see if we can implement something like this. So let's firstly, maybe we'll try and draw it out, right? This behavior. So let me get some diagram stuff here. I'll be very much into drawing my architecture nowadays, because it just makes it easy for me to figure out what I want to implement. So yeah, I think it might be a quiet stream today. Not many people on now, but yeah. Let me get my graphics tablet and then actually connect it to my computer. So we are here now. I have like a USB switch that has maybe 4 ports here. They're all being used all the time, so the only time I can take it off is when I'm not using my speakers, because it's also USB. But now we are Gucci, right? So this is working. Oh, is it working? Yeah, there you go. Let's open Zerno++. Zerno++, by the way, is an app that really works well with any graphics tablet. And I was using Excalibur before when we didn't have the graphics tablet, or we weren't using it on the stream. But yeah, I mean, if you guys do have a graphics tablet like my one here, do try it out, Zerno++. It's a really good application and it's open source as well. So Marius, welcome dude. Gucci Papucci. Yeah, so basically what we want to do is, like, every time someone comes in with a request, say they want to request something from, I don't know, post, right? So we do post and then the ID here, so post 1, right? So someone comes in with this request, and you know, if they go into Urchin, which is our application, so Urchin. So can I draw boxes with this very quickly? There you go. So this is Urchin and it's our application. Where are the lines now? Oh, there you go. So this is Urchin, and obviously they're going to go into Urchin. They're going to request something, so they're going to request the post 01, and this is like the user making the request. And then Urchin is going to go to all sorts of places and get enough information for us to be able to actually return that that post to the user, right? So we, you know, in real world terms here, we still have another box, which will be something like, you know, the database here. Let me change that to a black thing. So we have the database here. This will be the DB. Let's snap it. And, you know, internally, Urchin is going to be looking, is going to be making a request to the DB, which is going to, you know, return a bunch of stuff here, such as the contents and then the image locations and stuff like that, image metadata, right? So for example, we have the post, the contents itself, right? Contents. I don't mind my cursive writing. And then images as well. It's going to request all of that, and obviously it's going to return all that information down here as well, right? And this is not just one sort of database call. You may have like many database calls, because you may have like, you know, 50 images in a post or something like that. So essentially you're going to be making a lot of requests here. However, right, what we could do is, like, once Urchin renders you know, enough information to give back to the user that post, the post contents here, right? We could kind of have a cache. So a cache is like a map basically with like endpoints. Let's see if we can draw it out here so you guys kind of know what I'm trying to do a little bit better. This is what we're going to be adding. So we have the cache down here, which is simply going to be like a map. It's like a map where we have like, you know, post 1 here, and then the HTML, all the like rendered content saved as a value, right? And so on and so forth, you know, it's kind of like this. Hello, Suzy tags. We're just talking about how we're going to implement the caching. So yeah, I mean, if Urchin, you know, if the first time we render this post by getting all the information needed from the DB and everywhere else that we need to get information from, we could save that HTML down to a cache in here, right? So let's put this as the green line here. So this is what we're going to be implementing today. Draw arrow. So in essence, the logic is as following, right? So we have, I think an arrow disappeared here. Every time that you make a request to a post or a page or anything like that, this is the user, right? You're gonna go into Urchin and say, you know, can you get this request for me? This is gonna be a get request. And then Urchin is gonna check whether or not that page, post 1, is already cached. And if it is cached, it's gonna get it from down here and return it to the user, right? That's the flow there. If not, if it's the first time you're requesting this page, we kind of want to go all the way and then go to the DB, get the information and like render it down here and then return to the user. But actually, before we return to the user, we want to make sure that we have the rendered content saved onto the cache now, right? So every new post that you request, you're going to be saving into this cache. And obviously this cache is just going to be like, you know, it's going to be like a map, a glorified map. It has to be thread safe, because if you think about it, Gin by default, I think it uses a thread per core that you have on newer versions of Go. So it is handling all the requests simultaneously, you know, not all of them simultaneously, but like up to however many cores you have simultaneous requests per second. Sipping that hot chocolate. And yeah, I mean, if you have like 2 requests to the same post, or 1 request to post 1 and another request to post 2, but post 2 is not yet cached, you're going to be writing to the map while also reading it at the same time, and that's not good programming. That is a data race, actually. So in order to solve this, right, we need to have a thread safe map here in Golang. I did some research before this video, so the best way, to me it seems, that you know, the best way to me seemed to be using some sort of thread-safe map that's already implemented out there. I don't want to implement it in Golang because I don't know how to do multi-threading in it. Yeah, I don't know the syntax. I don't know how Go currencies or concurrency works in Golang with the Go keyword. However, someone else has already implemented something that we need, which is the shard map. So a shard map is basically a fragmented map. So like it's essentially like multiple small maps in one place, and each map has a read and write lock where when you request a key, you will only sort of lock a part of the map, basically. Don't entries go stale at all? Because from my understanding, when everything is cached once, then there is no updating when content changes. No, that's true. Yeah, I mean, that's a very good point. Obviously, we have the case where, you know, we've now changed the post, so we have to invalidate the cache, right? So cache invalidation here is something that we need to implement as well. So, but these are all the details. This is just the main idea here that I want to implement in this stream. Yeah, of course, we need to invalidate it whenever you update the post. Of course, we need to maybe invalidate it after a timestamp has expired. So like we probably will save not just the HTML, but also something like, you know, when this cache was created, and if it's gone past like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, something like that, we want to remove it from the cache here. So yeah, I mean, this is something we have to implement. So yeah. Is there an expired time for the cache? Yeah, we just talked about that, so I'm gonna skip that question. But yeah, these are all very good questions, by the way. So yeah, let's try. So currently, what do we have? We have a very simple way of adding endpoints. I mean, we're just calling Gin directly here. So ideally, we want to basically wrap each of these endpoints here, right? So we say, you know, we have our application maybe as a structure, which has the endpoints and then the handler function. I'm trying to think about it. Is there a limit for the count of cache being stored? Yeah, ideally as well, you also have like, you know, you don't want to store more than, I don't know, like 100 megabytes of cached HTML in your memory, right? So that would be a good thing to implement as well. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's do the basics, and the MVP that we have here is simply just storing all the caches as we can and not invalidating anything, and then we can move on from there. So a good way of implementing software in general is like thinking about the minimum viable product that you have, which, you know, the minimum functionality that we can implement is just adding a map with the cache and returning that, and that's it. Why not use Redis for caching? Redis. I've never used Redis. It probably is exactly what we need here, but I kind of want to implement this kind of locally and then see how it's done anyway, because I want to learn something rather than just use a Redis solution. But yeah, I mean, in-memory data store used by millions. Yeah, I've never actually used them. So does it have like this stuff already implemented for it for whatever you want, I guess? So. Redis offers a fast in-memory data store to power live streaming use cases. Redis can be used to store metadata about users' profiles and viewing histories, authenticating. I mean, it seems like a big thing for us to kind of out of, you know, out of just getting the caching functionality from it, to be honest. But I mean, I'm sure that it probably is the best solution here. I mean, if you can already find a framework that does caching, why not just use it? So out of interest, how hard it is to cache this in Golang, to integrate this to Golang, right? I guess you need like another service running on the background as well, right? Which is the Redis service, and then the Go wrap is just going to talk to it. Yeah, he has tons of tools. Yeah, I mean, by all means, you should probably go for it if you have the means. Like, I just want to keep this application as small as possible, and including Redis at the moment, it seems like an overkill. But the main problem here is that I kind of want to implement this myself. I just want to see how we can make something like this work. So that's why we're doing this. Right. So let's go. Yeah, so first thing we need to change here is obviously the way we add the endpoints, because we want to say for whatever endpoint, whether or not you want to add it to the cache, right? And if it is added to the cache, then we want to make sure that it's saved whenever you render some stuff. Because currently, I think for learning, it is cooler to implement stuff yourself to see. Yeah, exactly, Hamada. That's you know why I'm doing this. But yeah, if you look at the post handler, let's worry about the post itself. So the post handler, you know, uses the database to get all the post information, and then it renders some HTML here, so the content. And what does that return? So that returns the Templ content, right? Can we turn this views make post page thing, which is from Templ, into just a pure HTML? Because that's the first thing we need to do, right? We kind of need to get the whole HTML here. So views make post page, and then post.title, post.content. If I just want to test this out, what type is this? So what can I get? So test render IO writer. Oh, you can put it in an IO writer, right? Which I guess would just be like a buffer for render to IO writer string Golang. So you'll be checking if it's cached. If not, you will pull from the database. Yeah, exactly. So if it's not cached, we actually render it for the first time. And once the page is rendered, then we can add it to the cache, right? That's the idea here. It's a very simple caching mechanism at the start, just a map, and then we can go from there. Basically, we can expand from there. They implement IO writer. So what do we do? S hello buffer bytes new buffered string, which goes into S. Hello world. Okay, so let's see if we can use this buffered string thing to render the HTML, right? Oh, this is not Rust. So we need a string or HTML buffer bytes dot new buffered string. Wait, do I need a context? What is a context in this case though? Component is the interface. CTX context and IO writer. What should this context be? I'm gonna pass that and then HTML buffer here. I guess we're calling render twice here, but you know, that's not a problem. Yeah, because it's going to call render here once and then render here internally as well in this render function, right? Let's actually see what we do here. Yeah, template.render request context. Right? That's how we did it here. And I just want to see, I'm going to put a breakpoint here to see if we actually managed to get the HTML into HTML here. I think we should, right? But oh, let's start with air actually. We do have air, I keep forgetting. Okay, we did not. Oh yeah, what the hell am I doing? I kind of want to just debug this, right? Oh, not the admin app though. What do you use for the DB? MariaDB and the MariaDB or the MySQL driver for Golang. So, by the way, if you are interested, Susie, there is a link to the repository. So check it out. And what's on main now is what we have currently here on the video. Make sure that you start the project as well, because it does help me out quite a lot, getting it more and more popular every day. Plus, I don't have that many stars. So anyway, so let's go into it. Okay, so HTML. No, HTML is nothing here. Right, so clearly I need to Google here. So how to... what resource did you use to learn Go? I am using the internet, dude. And I have one of the best resources ever, which is... my partner does Golang, so she's very good at Golang. She works full-time, so I get to ask her a few questions every now and then. As well as using the internet. I go by example. She's got a few Golang books as well that I use as reference. So yeah, that's what I'm using right now, but I have very limited knowledge in Golang though. So Templ, Golang, to string. Render to string, yeah, simply output. No, dude, this is not the right one. Where is the Templ documentation? Templ docs. Let's see if they've got anything to static rendering, generating static HTML files with Templ. Server-side rendering, creating a HTTP server with Templ, HTMX, commands and tools. Right, so I'm looking for something like render to string, core concepts, testing, views, models, components. Right. Is there really no way to render to a function and to render to a string? That must be right. Oh, how do I include Templ in this? There you go. Oh yeah, I mean it kind of made sense because we weren't hitting the actual line that was doing the rendering, right? So let's try again. Maybe we we're just being stupid there, because I think the breakpoint hit, but then I checked the value right here, and it should have been after the render, right? So no, it's still nothing. Okay, do we have to do anything to this kind of HTML buffer? What is it? That returns me a string. Oh, okay, I think I get it now. So maybe the IO writer starts with that string and then he adds on to it, right? So if we do something like actual HTML content here, is this gonna work? Declared but not used. Wait, can I just build it anyway? Well, I guess I need to use HTML content. What is it? Info, MSG, F. There you go. Now it's been used, right? So it should not complain anymore. It shouldn't complain at all. So like, let's see if we can hit the post. No, HTML content is still nothing. That's annoying. Yeah, I feel like it's probably something to do with this context. So whatever render does. Is there a way to do it without the context? That's what functions are available to us. Type component interface. The template component. I mean, I would like to see what we can do with this context. What should the context be? Why is it so difficult? Let's see if someone on GitHub has asked the same question. Render to string. Gosh, what am I doing wrong here? Post title, post content gives me a Templ content back. Component, sorry. And this is component. And there's nothing here indicating that we can just render to it. I mean, this is the function I was using, render. And I thought I would just render to the IO writer, but maybe the context has something to do with this as well. Do any of you guys know how to do this? So I'm trying to do a Templ to string, basically, not Templ to the HTTP handler kind of thing. Okay, is there a world where ChatGPT will tell us exactly what we need to do here? Okay, let's log in. Maybe GPT will help us. Maybe GPT will help us. Let's see. So give me the code snippet in the Golang that renders a Templ HTML function to a Golang string. No, this is not right. He's using the template here. If you'd like to use text template package, this is terrible. It doesn't even know what Templ is. Yeah. Dude, there's gotta be a way, right? There's gotta be a way. So Templ, Golang Templ, render to string. I want to include Templ in the search. Templ.component toString. Oh, this is JavaScript. Did it not expose like the functions to override the IO buffer? Wait, does this even make sense? That's the question. HTML content. Because we do have a render function that kind of does the same thing. So we set the status and then we render to the context here. How long are we going to be stuck in this? Jesus. Templ component. There you go, we finished our hot chocolate. Now we can really focus. So yeah, maybe reading the documentation is the best thing. So since Templ components ultimately implement the Templ component, any code that implements the interface can be used in place of a Templ component generated from a Templ file. Method components. Template generation. Okay, we know this. This is the Templ stuff. Is it possible to hijack HTML from Templ into another function that can grab the HTML string instead of sending it to the writer function? I'm pulling this out of my ass. I mean, I guess it would be, right? But the thing is, though, they have this this function called render that takes in a IO writer here. So in theory, it should write to whatever the IO writer does, which in my case is the buffer string here. But I suspect that this is gonna send the whole request, not just the HTML, so like the headers as well, for example, which may be explaining why we see like an empty string, because there might be like a 0 byte somewhere at the start. But you know, I don't know. So what I'm trying to do without hijacking the library too much is just to get the HTML rendered out of this, and it seems to be difficult. I don't know why this isn't a thing. Don't know why this library didn't make it into a thing. So maybe, you know, the best thing we can do right now is scout their documentation page and hope that we can sort this out, because if not, then the stream's done, I guess. Then the idea is gonna be... I mean, we render to the context, right? So in essence, do we have like C dot... Can we get the HTML after this? So request the body. Wait, where do we send it to? So we send it to request context, and it takes the context, all right. So I guess, you know, it puts, surely this will put everything into C here, right? GetBody defines an optional function to return a new copy of a body. It is used for client requests when a redirect requires reading the body more than once. Use GetBody still requires setting by. Okay, let's try this. Should we try that? So something like, you know, remove all this shit here. We don't need it anymore. Put your body test there. What does that return us? It returns an error as well. So the body and error. the body's not nil, then whatever, fmt dot or log dot error dot msgf. Something like that. And then in here we can just, I guess we return if nothing happens here, but in here we can just say log, just so we can use it and it compiles, I guess. We can say log info, msgf, and body. What type is body? Body is what? Read closer. Read closer is an interface that groups the basic read and close methods. Okay, can we read it more than once though? That's the thing. Because I'm sure that whatever this function calls here, so template renderer, it's probably I guess it's probably gonna call this read and close already, so maybe it's not there anymore, but it's worth checking anyway. Oh, body test dot. What does read do? Oh, long, very long. Reads up to length of p. It returns the number of bytes. Wait. So we have to pass in the byte array. Reads up to the length of p bytes into p. It returns the number of bytes read and any error encountered, even if read returns. Okay, you may use all the p. Okay, so we have to calculate the length of it before. Is that correct? This is getting complicated. It's getting very complicated. I guess c dot request will have that size. There you go, content length. Right, so that will be the length. Correct? So int64. Oh no, it's just an int64. And we have to create a byte array now, right? So how do we do that? In Go, maybe HTML contents. Is it make undefined length? How is that undefined though? Oh yeah. I hate Golang. I hate the way you define variables. Why can't they just take an equals? Yeah, okay. Now we can do this HTML contents, right? Let's see if this is gonna work. I have, reservations. I don't think it is gonna work. Or if it does work, it might work. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. This might not be the way you're supposed to be calling this library anyway, so HTML contents. Now, if we compile this again. Okay. What I do like about Go is that it's very quick to compile compared to Rust. Very, very quick. Read a post. Right. And we're here. Time of the truth. Like, dude, why? What? That gave me a panic somewhere. Let's try again. Why did he panic? So it's panicking in read here, right? And get body doesn't work. Right, yeah. So we can't get the body twice, unfortunately. So level 1 in post my very post. And what's the actual error that we get though? This kind of sucks. Server handler. Yo, what's the actual error though? Like, invalid memory address or nil pointer dereference. Yeah, so it's a nil pointer reference whenever we call getBody. So I kind of guessed that, you know, when it comes to this line, because render has already done all the rendering, I have a feeling that it doesn't, you know, it kind of doesn't exist anymore there. What does render take again? A context. And what is a context? Can we create context? The context carries a deadline, cancellation signal, and other values across API boundaries. Yeah, I feel like that context is the key. So if we can set the context up, so we can basically we can call render here, but with our own IO writer, then I feel like it might work. As we just figured out, you can't read it twice because the body's already sent and the data isn't there anymore. So it's kind of shit. Not a Golang person, more of a C. Yeah, me too. But Bard is passing a byte.new buffer nil to the function that takes an IO writer. Then getting the string from it after. Let's take a look at that. So the function that takes the render, so it will be, you know, this is the views.makePost. I think that's the function that's taking the render, I guess. Post form. There you go. Yeah, we're gonna scrap all of this because it doesn't work. So you're saying that Google's Bard is telling us to do a render and set bytes new buffer.nil to the function. It's passing the bytes. Okay, so I guess it'll be like bytes.new buffer. Nil, and then that's what we pass in here, right? See, we had this kind of like this before, so we had new byte string here, which is the string. So maybe, yeah, new buffer is the one we need. And once we get that, what do we have? Buffer dot bytes, I guess, so string. Let's try that. Thank you very much, Hamada. So we have log.info just to get it to compile. MSG. Let's see the endpoint again. No, yeah, this throws an error, by the way. Right? Wait, where's my terminal? Debug console. Yeah, that Bard is wrong here as well. It's kind of throwing an error in that case. Oh, maybe it's an error because I passed nil here. If I pass the context, see what happens. What happens then? Oh yeah, it does work. Oh shit, yeah, thank you, Hamada. After 45 minutes, you saved us, dude. Saved the stream. Yeah, but does it render correctly? Yeah, it renders the page as well. Great, thank you very much, dude. I mean, I don't know why new buffer string, which is what you know, other people recommended on Stack Overflow. didn't work, but I guess it needs a byte buffer, right? So good, we have a way to actually get the HTML here. We are unifying. Yeah. Well, I'm very happy that this worked, because otherwise, you know, the stream would have ended in 2 hours with me still trying to figure out how to get HTML out of Templ. But yeah, it seems like we can override the buffer with this new buffer thing in here, which is cool. I mean, we now have a way to get the HTML if we need to cache it, right? And this is how we do it. So we have the post view. So in essence, we want to say something like, you know, if the cache map does not contain whatever this endpoint is, right? This endpoint. Then we're gonna do all of this. Ooh. Oh, what did I do? So that's what we kind of want to do here. I'm gonna leave this here because we're gonna add the cache, right? So let's add the cache. So the cache is simply gonna be, I guess, a type cache. Wait, how do I do a type alias in Go? Golang type alias. So type 1 equals 2 as opposed to standard type definition. Okay. Not the same as C++. So our cache is simply going to be a map, and the map has to be this thing here. We want to include this library because this is the library that deals with the thread safety of a map. So we do a go get here. This song sucks. Okay, so we do a shared memory. Wait, what? No, I don't want that shit. Sharded map. Right, that's the one we want. I did add sharded map, right? Yeah, so it is there. Oh. Why is it not showing up here? So new shard map. Now let's put it, I don't know, like 4. Right, so it has 4 subsections in this shard map. Oh, new shard map. Wait, this is not finding the definition. Maybe VS Code is stuck because it should have reloaded the Golang module stuff, right? Let's see now. Yeah, shadow map is not here. I can't call it anywhere. That kind of sucks. Initialization is easy. I mean, go get, so we can do this ourselves maybe. Why does it not work? There you go, now shard map is here. Thank God. Jesus Christ. So new shard map. Okay. What? Why do I have to give it an alias? Imported the shard map but not used. How do you organize your modules workspace? Go get does it automatically for you. So Go has the, I guess, a package manager which organizes everything. So it's go mod is the main command. Let's actually do a tidy here. And go get is the one you use to add a particular package, and it gets stuff from GitHub, basically. Like, why can't I include shard map? Jesus. It should be automatically here. But if I manually add it here, sharded map dot. Yeah, this is fucked. What is going on? Let's find an example. Go get this sharded map. Wait, so did I do the wrong one? This seems to be a different URL now. Downloading this. Okay, let's see if it at least appears now. I'm not misspelling this, right? Yeah, maybe this library's just worked. What I mean is, like, if I add any other library here, so for example html.template, you know, whatever, if I do that, and then it recognizes it automatically, but in the case of sharded map, it's not doing that. So it kind of makes me think that it's not properly adding the dependency. And we can take a look at the Go mod file and see, right? So we've got that there. What's the issue here though? It's not using this module, Go module tidy. Let's see if we can just get the GitHub one. There you go. I noticed that this is a different URL to GitHub, so we can do a go mod tidy here, and that removes all the dependencies you're not using, right? And if we do a go get, no, go get, ooh, copied one thing too many. Now, is it the GitHub one that's been added? Yeah, now we've got a GitHub one there. Does that mean we can actually use it here though? That's the question. So if we do, no, sharded map is still not there. Sharded. But if I manually add that there, I mean, fuck it, that's what we have, right? I guess. I think this library is just not written in the same way as the other ones are. I'm not sure how it works, but like usually they have like a namespace in here, but this one is just imported. It's just imported everything basically. What is this type? This is a shard map. Okay, cool. At least we can import it now somehow. But this is not what we want to create the map though. We want to create the map in the main application, right? In the main application file, because then we can pass in the cache down to these functions as in a dependency injection or something, right? So let's remove the shard map from here. We don't care about that anymore. Remove that line from there. Now where we do want it is here, and we also want to create the shard map in the main application run, right? So shard map, new shard map, and we do something like 4, so 4 instances, so 4 locks inside the map. I think that's enough. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like in terms of benchmarking a bit. Yeah, and then we do the cache. That will be the cache, right? So new shard map. What is a shard map? Like, what can we? Shards, integer. Okay, let's look at the usage because I don't know how to use this. So in a usage we have Set string, okay. I mean, it seems to be fairly straightforward. There's gets and then there's sets, right? Yeah. Cool. So interface, demo, hello world. Demo string 1, string 2. Joey, hello Joey. It's good seeing you again, dude. It's been a long time. We're trying to implement some caching now, but this depressing music is kind of getting me down. But here we are. Yeah, so let's say we now pass in a shard map in here, which is the cache, right? So the cache, which is a shard map. Okay, no, I just wanna do that. Does that work? Yeah, he adds the shard map to it. Okay, now it does work. So if we pass that in here, we could also kind of cache the home page, right? So let's try that. Let's try caching the home page. Had a busy week and sounds nice, dude. Thank you, dude. We just had like 40 minutes straight of trying to get the HTML out of Templ into a string. And if it wasn't for one of the viewers, Hamada, to Google barred it, we would have been stuck here for like 2 hours. It's crazy that they don't have this kind of simple documentation on the Templ documentation, basically. Like how to get your HTML in a string, you know, instead of just rendering it to the context request. But we got there in the end. Yeah, so here we're gonna do that same thing here. So we're gonna check, you know, if something like, you know, cache dot get or contains. Is there a contains here? Set if not exist. Okay, I want to check if it exists though. How do we do that? So get returns entry from the sharded map, which points to an interface, and I guess it will be this endpoint, right? So get the, if it's nil, if it's not nil, I guess, then we can get the stuff, right? So cached entry, cache dot get, so if it's not nil, we can get the stuff, right? So the cached entry. Wait, how do we actually like transform this into a string now? So demo string 1, data interface, retrieve data. I am a string key. They can improve on the docs, indeed, yeah. Yeah, the only problem is like I've got cached entry now, and what type even is this? Like, it's an interface, yeah, interface of something. Is this a way to in Go to store like any kind of variable into the map? Because if you look at set, it takes a data which is an interface. Now, what the hell is it? What is this notation here? What's the syntax? I've never seen this before in Golang, that is. Internal map key, a shard. Right. Yeah, interface is any. Right, cool. And how do I transform interface into the type that I want, basically? So interface convert Golang. Thank you, dude. Oh my god. Okay. You can also use any, which is an alias of interface, but most people use interface for some reason. I prefer any. Cool, cool. Good to know. I will try. I think I prefer any as well. Okay, no, I don't want type conversion. I want interface conversion. Convert interface to string Golang. You need a type assertion. It's necessary because the map is of type map string interface. So argument. Wait. Right. Let's see this. So I'm using doc-opt to parse command line arguments. This works and it returns results in a map such as this. Now I would like to concatenate host and the port value to a string with a colon in between the two values. Basically something such as this. Okay. Unfortunately this does not work as I get the error. So obviously I need to convert the value that I get from the map, which is just interface, so it can be anything, to a string. Now my question is, how do I do that? This is what we're looking for. You need a type assertion. What is a type assertion? It's pretty much a void star. Yeah, it's pretty much a void star. That's what I'm getting from it, right? For an expression x of interface type, but not a type parameter, and type t, the primary expression asserts that x is not nil and the value stored in x is of type t, the notation t. Ah, okay, so this, cool, I get it. So like I can do something like does that work? And then I can do, wait, is it string? Oh, okay, so I just need to do this invalid operation cache get value of type is not an interface compiler. Wait, what? I thought it was an interface, dot stringer thing. What is this returning? This is returning a pointer to an interface star. Okay, this is getting me. I don't think it returns an error. Oh, it doesn't return an error. Okay. So this is just I guess this is unsafe type checking, right? No, I mean it's complaining about the. It's complaining about something else. Cache.get a value of type star interface is not an interface. So I guess it's a star interface, right? And that is not an interface. Can I do it here? Can I dereference the pointer? Does that work in Golang? Can I do something like this? Oh, sorry. This? No, this does not work as well. Comma, okay, expression of string is not used by the compiler. Okay, so this seems to work. So if I dereference this and then do a string. Okay, cool. I guess first I gotta check, you know, it does make sense that we gotta check for the null pointer, right? So if we know it's not null, then we can do something like, you know, our cache contents is equals to cache entry dereferenced dot string. Now this should be a string. Yeah, good. Which means we can serve that to the So we can do c.html status. Oh, http.status OK here. And then we can send the name string. Wait, what? Okay, this is how I serve HTML in Gin, right? I think it is, something like that. Gin serve unparsed HTML. Because if I send it as a template, it's just gonna kind of escape all my HTML for me. I don't want that. See that data carry to F? No. Gin HTML loop HTML. That's what I'm trying to do, I guess. I mean, no, I don't. Why does it force you to do templating straight away? Is there no other function that would just like send the data? What do we have here? So bind header, no. What does data do? We've seen that before in one of the pages. Data writes some data into the body stream and updates the HTTP code, right? Cool, I'm happy with this. Let's try this one. C.data http.status OK. What else do we need? We need the content type string. What is the content type for HTML? Text HTML, right? I guess carry UFC UTF-8. And the data itself, so cache contents. There you go. And we convert it to a byte here. Hopefully it works fine. And then we can return. So that's if the entry is cached, right? I mean, if it's not cached. So if the data, if the endpoint is cached, if not cached, create a cache. Right, so this is where that useful string thing comes into hand now, because we want to get the HTML out of the Templ, right? So we I think it was something like we have the views here. Oh, that's useful actually, because now we kind of know that we can we kind of know that we can just render data right through Gin. So we don't have to call the views twice. We can just do it once. So make index here. We got the posts. So this is the index view. And then we can do index view.render. And then we can set C here. IO writer, that's going to be our string buffer, or the HTML buffer. And HTML buffer is going to be that very useful function the Hamada told us, which is the bytes new buffer or something, right? With nil, yeah. And essentially we have HTML buffer here, string, which is our HTML. Okay, And then we no longer have to render it anymore. We can just do something like c dot data, right? Which is what it was. HTTP dot status OK. And then we have views. Oh, no. Status OK. And then we have the content type, which is text HTML. Set equals UTF-8 here. And then we have HTML buffer bytes. And of course, we want to put that into our cache, right? So let's do that. So we have cache dot set. There is set if not exists, by the way. And this is going to be the endpoint itself, so the endpoint name, and the data, which is going to be HTML buffer dot, I guess, save it as string, right? I don't know if it's better for us to save it as a buffer. I cannot use HTML buffer string as interface value in the, okay. String does not implement interface type. Okay, so let's see what this is. So string does not implement interface. And how is this man saving it? So this man had an example here of set. Oh no, he doesn't. Golang, show the map Golang. Okay, maybe we just have to pass in the pointer to it, I guess. Oh, not this one. Is that gonna work? String returns the content of the unread portion of the buffer as a string. I'm trying to figure out whether or not it copies the data. It should do, right? Because we're passing a pointer to it, so. But anyway, I think it's complaining that we can't pass a pointer to the return of this function because it's kind of unused, right? But if we do something like, actually, does it work if I do bytes here as well? So byte, is that gonna work? And byte returns byte. Okay, cool. Let's save it as byte because then we can do bytes in here. So HTML buffer dot bytes, and then in here we can just do the HTML bytes, right? Does that work? Cannot use bytes value. Byte does not implement interface type. Point to interface, not interface. This is interesting. Like, do I have to turn this into a structure from the looks of it? I mean, we can do that. I didn't want to do it, but we can do that. It's not a problem. Endpoint, cache. Seems like you have to, yeah. I thought so as well. I mean, let's do that. And hello, Day of Redemption. It's good seeing you, dude. Yeah, so let's try and do this now. So if we do, I mean, we're gonna have to change this in a second, but if we create that cache entry, which is gonna be the endpoint cache, I guess. We have name, which is this, and the contents, which is HTML buffer, not bytes, and then we can remove that one. Does it work now? Can I use cache entry type interface? Oh, dude, what is going on here? So how are they using this? So var data interface equals. Okay, now it works. I have absolutely no idea what this means, by the way, when you put an interface here. I guess it kind of means you implement an interface, and that interface has these variables in it. I have no idea. But it has to be that interface thing. That's cool to know. But anyway, so now we should be able to come in here. So the cached entry, if it's not nil, we're going to convert it to a, what are we doing? We're going to convert the cached entry to a endpoint cache, right? Does that work? Or a cache hit? This is not an interface. And data, okay, and then we've got cache contents there. Okay. Good. I mean, is this gonna work? I mean, this should in theory cache the home handler, right? And what we're going to be doing today is actually like just turning all of the code that we just added here into something more general, so we can have a wrapper around the usual handlers, and then just, you know, that wrapper is going to check if it's cached or not. So this is obviously in the home handler only now. We're going to change that in the future. Just comment all of this out because we messed up here before. And render. So we have, okay, so what's the issue here though? Declared but not used. Yeah, make home handler. Now let's see if we can get a hit. So let's hit the home again. Let's see if it works now. So localhost, just home. You can see that we hit here. So error along the post. Cached entry is nil, so it shouldn't have anything. But then we get the HTML now. So HTML buffer. So cached entry, we have data. And the contents here, right? And we set the cache now. Does it work? Okay, now this is what we get. This is interesting. Now this is obviously kind of escaping our shit, right? We render it again. So that's wrong in the first place. We should just have one here. Let's see what it does again. Kind of have a feeling that this is escaping my bytes. Yeah, escaping my bytes. So like, how do I unescape this? So if I look into my network, where's my network here? Performance network. So localhost, we accept it, text HTML application, whatever. Encoding equals that. Okay, so it definitely not. My very first post. response headers, 0 headers, request headers. All right, what's going on? So gin.data send HTML. Let's look at the documentation, shall we? Do they have a documentation page? Yeah, they do. The docs are on GitHub. Let's try that out. I mean, I have the docs here as well, though. It's not an issue. I mean, the GitHub docs would just be the same as what I'm getting here. So if I go into data, I can see. So this is rendering the code, the content type, and the data. I kind of want to just GPT it now because this is going to be something something very idiotic that I'm missing out. So render a byte array in Golang containing HTML to a request, a gin request using HTML content. Yeah, that's what we have though. Right, text HTML. I do have text HTML. Ah, yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, no one spotted that, did you? Come on, guys. That was a little something in our string. A little something. Anyway, let's see if it works now. Yay, it does work. It does work. We're just okay. But that was the first time, right? So the second time I hit it, it should be on the cache now. So if I go into here, cached entry shouldn't be nil now. There you go. And then we render that again and return. Okay, so that's good. I am missing the semicolon here though, just made me realize. So in essence, we have like some sort of mechanism that makes it work. And what's interesting as well is that by adding the structure here to hold a cache hit or a cache entry, we can then in the future put something like timestamp here, so validity. So we can say it's valid only for 5 minutes, and then in the function where we have the caching stuff, we can make that a cache hit check to make sure it's still like valid, and we can return that to the user safely. But anyway, yeah, let's abstract this a little bit more now, shall we? So as you can see, I'm passing the cache here to the make home handler, but it would be nicer if we had a function that says add handler, and it takes the handler name and it takes the handler function, and it will kind of do all of this and then just call the handler right where we need it, which would be, I guess, none of it needs the handler. In fact, none of this needs the handler until we're down here, right? So this is like, I'm just trying to get the chunk of the handler that we actually want to keep and then move everything out onto a higher up function. I mean, yeah, this would be it. So this is it. And if we can imagine, just like this code is the after handler, where we add to cache, I guess. And this is the before handler, right? So anything before this is the cache stuff. So before handler call, where we retrieve from cache. So in essence, if it's already in the cache, we don't even call the handler at all. We just get it from the cache. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's add a function here. I don't know. Func add handler. What does this return? I guess it would return a function that takes a gin.context. Ooh, writing too much Rust. There you go. But then this function itself takes in the name, right? So the endpoint, which is a string. It takes in the handler itself. Okay, so the handler here, I guess they have to have a common signature, right? Yeah, we definitely want to take the cache in here. So the cache would be, what was the cache again? The cache type, shardmap. We should probably pass this as a reference as well, just to so we don't copy unnecessary things. And then we want the actual handler function, right? Which in my case is going to be a func that takes, what is make home handler, app settings in the database. And takes that database here. In fact, just a DB, copy the database. And now we can move all of this stuff into, let me think now. Yeah, we can return a function that has the C as a gin context here. And we move all of this before stuff into here. And we're going to call the handler now, right here. So we do handler. Let me think. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a function taking all of this, does it? So the handler is just a, it's just going to generate the HTML. So a better name for handler, because this is not actually handling the request. I mean, is it actually doing it? Let's see. I guess it is, because it needs the views make index. What does that take? Posts. Yeah, I mean, we're calling render here, which does need the context. So we do need to at least get the context for this function. The function name should actually be, I guess, generator or something like that. So it generates the HTML. And generator can take in that C, no? And then it has to return a HTML, right? So I guess it's a byte here. So if it returns a byte array with the HTML content, we're Gucci. So what do we want to call it? This is the HTML buffer. And we get all this stuff that comes after. Into here. Yeah, right here. we already have the bytes here, which is the HTML buffer. And then this is going to be just the name or the endpoint. I'm going to change all of these instances to the endpoint name again. You'll be clear what we're doing in a second when we actually like debug this code. You guys will be able to see if you're not following yet. But you know, it's just pretty easy encapsulation. There's nothing too difficult here. But anyway, what are you guys up to on this Saturday and this Sunday? Any plans for you guys? Are you going to be coding? Are you going to be seeing family? You know, what are the plans? Just doing a little bit of a chit chat, so it doesn't become too boring of a stream. Okay, so we have HTML buffer here. If the endpoint is cached, okay, we generate. Now let's see. Fighting with my inner demons. sounds good, dude. Do that on a daily basis, so I understand what you mean. On other news, I'm actually gonna go to a nice restaurant on Sunday, so I'm excited. Gonna go to a steakhouse, a Brazilian steakhouse. There's a friend of mine's getting married, so I've not seen the guys in like ages, so it should be good to see some real life friends, I guess. And you guys are my friends too, by the way. Just saying, but not IRL. We're different friends. Even though I probably speak to you guys way more than my IRL friends, so. Congrats to your friend, and I hope you have a great time. Yeah, me too. I mean, it's gonna be fairly short though. We're just gonna go for an evening meal, and then I'll be right back. Might even stream after, because it's Sunday is gonna be stream day, right? So I gotta stream every 2 days to keep up the growth. The channel is growing like insanely well. I don't know how, but apparently people enjoy watching me struggle for like the 3-hour stream. 3-hour Golang stream, so I can't complain. But yeah, I mean, it's good. I've been enjoying streaming. I mean, I guess it shows to people what development actually looks like, because like most of the like content creators out there, they post very high level videos of themselves doing like something very complicated in a very short amount of time. And I don't think that represents very well what development is actually like. So I'm trying to actually just kind of show you guys that even people who are working in this industry for a long time still struggle, right? I think your shorts and minor informative videos are well done. Oh, thank you, dude. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's the plan for the channel. We like to see you suffer through an incomplete documentation. Yeah, thank you, Marius. Yeah. But that's the thing with the channel though. I created it and I started doing live streams because I want to show people what real development is actually like. Because like I've seen so many content creators show very complicated shit and like making incredibly complicated like frameworks and like hacking into the Linux kernel and stuff in like 10-20 minutes. And I think they're kind of lying a little bit. So like, you know, it shows, especially to new people who are starting out with programming, that, you know, for you to be very good at something, you have to do it in like 10 minutes. And that's not necessarily true. I mean, I even at work, I mean, sometimes I go through 8 hours of my day and all I write is like maybe 500, 600 lines of code, which is very low for 8 hours of code, for 8 hours of work. And that includes like copy and pasting sometimes as well. So, but what annoys me like the most, and this is real talk, I guess, is like the I'm not sure if you guys have seen them, but the YouTube channels where they just have like ASMR like coding, where someone just like shows themselves like typing on the keyboard, doesn't show their face or anything. And I saw this guy the other day doing, I think it was like some sort of like JavaScript UI that had like this very beautiful slider and a very beautiful like navbar and stuff that just like has loads of animations. And the whole video was like 20 minutes long, right? So, you know, if I'm a new person, a newcomer, and I watch this video, I'm thinking, wow, this guy's really good. You know, the guy just doesn't stop typing ever, and finishes this whole thing in 20 minutes. What they don't realize is that the guy's probably reading off like the second screen, just like literally copying and pasting the code that they took like 8 hours to make for a new video. So I think, you know, people have to be a little bit more truthful about how long things actually take in this industry, and it's okay if you struggle. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, most people do. Anyway, I'll stop venting now. But yeah, and apparently people like that because the channel is growing, so I don't mind it. We're all getting something out of it. Yeah, so generator, that has to have that has to take the app settings and the database as well, right? I guess so. The app settings and the database. Can I just do a handler type up here? So does it work like in C? I can do a type generator, which is a function that takes in the c.gen. Oh. General context, app settings, and then the database, and then returns a byte. Very true. Most of my development at work is going from one error to the next, hacking shit together into, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's true development, right? None of that like I'm gonna make this entire fucking game in 20 minutes and then just non-stop like type, because that's not how things work. Like, and people who are doing those kind of videos online, they're just lying to other people. Like, we all know that it doesn't take that long. It takes a lot longer, sorry. A lot more hard work and a lot more like reading and stuff to get even something simple like what I'm trying to do now, which is like a headless CMS. It's a lot of work. Like, you can count the number of hours that I've spent in this shit. It's like, so far it's maybe like over 15 hours and I still don't have like a fully working thing. So yeah. Anyway, so instead of this I can just do my generator thing in here, right? So yeah, I can do that. So I need the C and I need, now this is where I come in with the dependency injection. We need the app settings here, which are app settings, and then would you mind making a video or a stream on how to set up a project for coding C++ with MSVC compiler? Yeah, sure. I mean, do you mean like on Visual Studio or VS Code? I mostly use VS Code nowadays. I used to use Visual Studio, but yeah, of course, I can do that. I do have some videos already though that may help you, like all the CMake. If you start the CMake videos, and there's a particular good one called, I think it's like CMake presets, how to use CMake presets in CMake. That tells you how to set up like the configuration for the compilers and stuff. And then there's also debugging, one that I've made on VS Code for C++. That's relatively good as well. Visual Studio is easy going. Yeah. I mean, VS Code is also easy. I mean, maybe I'll do next stream. Yeah, let's do that. Next stream I'll do some C++, and then if you manage to join at the start, I'll be explaining how my setup works. And we have database here, or just DB, right? And then we call it database, and then we can pass in the app settings and then DB. Okay. I mean, one of the things I need to kind of do is relative path handler function. Wait, why can it take so many handler functions though? A function that takes in a context. Okay. I will check those videos out for sure. Yeah, I think it's worth it, dude. Yeah, so what do I want to do here? I basically want to say, add endpoint or add handler, right? Then I want to say this, and I want to do something like make home handler, and then I pass in my cache, and then I pass in my app settings here, and then I pass in the database. So database, cannot use home handler, why not? So I've got app settings, database, and cache, right? We don't want that. Wait, why is this not taking the... Ah, okay, this doesn't... We're gonna have to change this to home handler, I guess. And remove this lambda here. Ooh. And this should return a byte, right? A byte array. Or error, right? I guess that's a good point. We should return an error as well if you fail to create a byte array for any reason. So return nil and error here. Okay, that's what we want the home handler to be. And this should be an error, I think. And we have to change this definition here, which should be returning me an error as well. Right now. And I've gone one step further, so I can do something like... Oh, so we've got the endpoint, the generator function. We need to pass which cache we want to put into it, definitely. The app settings and the DB. These are getting kind of like huge, like the function signatures, because we're passing a lot of stuff, but oh well. And it has to return a function that takes in solely a gin context, because that's what's actually going to go into the get call here. Yeah, what we forgot to do is to pass in the router as well, right? So if you look at the router type, the gin default, we need to pass in an engine, right? So I guess we pass in the R as an engine, gin engine, endpoint. You mentioned dependency injection. How did you manage that? Well, I'm just passing the database and the app settings down. I mean, there should be pointers really here. It's not proper dependency injection as in C++, where you have like an interface, and then the function takes in the interface type, but actually you're passing a different type which implements that interface. This is just passing in the dependencies down to the function, basically. Probably not what you mean though. You're probably thinking of like a dependency inversion solution there, and this is not what I meant. It would be nice if we can do that, because then we can do like testing quite easily. Like instead of the database here, I can pass in something that implements the database type, and then I can run my unit tests on these. And instead of like passing the context to gin, I can pass in an interface that also implements the same thing. But I don't know how to do that in Golang yet. We're gonna have to wait a little bit. So add handler, what are these types? Get and post. So get is a function . I guess, yeah, that's what we're gonna have to kind of test here as well. Oh, this is getting huge. So engine, and then we have like, I guess the method. Let's pass it as a string for now. Are there enums in Golang? Can we pass enums? Please tell me there is an enum in Golang. I'm a Java senior software engineer and work mostly in Spring Boot. Therefore, there is a concept of inversion of control. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. So I thought there's a way to define interfaces and implementation. There is interfaces in Golang, which is something I briefly looked at in the past, but I don't know like how to do it yet. Yeah, that's how you probably do something like dependency inversion, so you can like mock out some services, right? So there is a way to do that in Golang, basically. And tell Go to add the required implementation where you need them. Yeah. So I guess it will be like similar. I never use Spring Boot myself, but we have, you know, similar shit in C++ as well, because the language allows you to do it with things like inheritance and abstract interfaces and stuff. So there is no way to to do an enum in Golang, so that's fine. What we're gonna do is we're gonna just like do an if here. So if method is equals to get, now why did I do all of that? Because down here we're gonna actually put a method, right? So if the method equals to get, then we're gonna do engine. Is that what I called it? So yeah, the engine dot get, and then we have the endpoint, and then the handler. Right? Yes, that's what we have. You can see that I'm gonna do the same thing over and over. Get post. We've got delete here as well, and then we also have get post delete and update. No, put, get put, yeah, that's the one. Oh, post, and then we have cool. I mean, this is, you know, hacky, but oh well. Yeah, so generator, why is that not taking mismatch? One variable, but generator returns two values. Yeah, that's true. It's because we have an error here. Something can go wrong there. And if the error is not nil, we can log, right? We can log in and say log.error msgf could not generate HTML error here. I think you can achieve that with const summer string summer autumn. Okay, yeah, let's. Oh, you might be right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but then what type is this? That's what I wonder. Like, what do I pass into this function here? Do you know what I mean? Like, because it needs a type. Like, what's the enum type here? The enum name. That's what I saw here. Like, it seems to have a string. Yeah, cool. But then I might as well just pass in the string manually, right? Without defining the extra const there. But it's cool. I mean, we don't want to return anything now. So this function doesn't return anything anymore. It just adds the handler. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, the only problem is that I have to convert all my other handlers now into this type here, this generator type. So in essence, what I had, what's the issue here in the first place? Make home handler, right? So we don't have that anymore. What we do have is add handler, which takes in the engine, and it takes in the method, which is get. It takes in the endpoint, which is this. It takes in the generator, which is home handler, takes in the cache, and it takes in the app settings as well, and it takes in the database, right? So why is cache not here? Does that work? Yeah, it does work. Now let's do the same for all the other functions now. So we have a fully working kind of very easy and hard to invalidate cache, I guess. But here we go. Next one, contact page. Do we want to? We probably don't want to do this to contact, right? Yeah, we definitely don't want to do it in the post here. So we do not want to cache this because it's going to be, it should be kind of handling all the time, right? So do not cache. So this will be something that we can't cache. I mean, the contact page itself, we can cache that, right? So we can do an add handler. Actually, if we do, if we do this here, we do get, and then we do contact, and we do contact handler, cache app settings database, right? So the only thing remaining for us is to change this into contact handler. And then here we need to I guess just do whatever we did on the main handler, right? Which is this, something like this. I mean, for the sake of having the same stuff, we just need to pass in these two types. Oh, what did we have before? Shit. People implement enums using the iota keyword. Something like this, type weekday in const. Okay, yeah, I think I did see that as well. Was it down here? Yeah, so, oh yeah, from what I understand, iota is just gonna like, you know, if it's an integer, it's just gonna like make sure that A is like 0 and then C is 1 and C. I understand that. My point is, there's no way for me to say only pass in one of these values into a function. Like, there's no type checking if I do this, so that there is no advantage for me to create this if the type system is not going to be able to check it. That's what I'm saying. So I might as well just pass in the strings in that case, the get, put, and whatever, right? There's no way to restrict the inputs. That's what I'm saying. Does it make sense? Yeah, cool. Alright, so what am I doing here? So this is what we were doing. So make contact page, that's the views, right? We don't need any posts here. We can remove all of that. So index. Oh yeah, so we do need to get, I guess, the gin context in this case, right? So we do need to have the C gin context. And this also has to return a by an error here. Oh. Okay, cool. So the contact handler is actually fairly easy as well. So we have like all cacheable endpoints here. And we should probably change this to add a cacheable name or something. So add cached handler. That's probably a better name, right? We remove that one there. And the post ID, yeah, I mean the post ID is definitely one that we care about. Oh. Yeah, so that's the initial one, right? So we definitely want to cache in the posts. So add cacheable handler. We have R, and we have post, get, yeah, get. And then we have post ID there, and then contact, oh yeah, post handler. And then we pass in the cache for us, and the app settings, and database. That means we're gonna have to do some stuff here, right? So in essence, we're just going to be returning the byte array. Now we don't care about this anymore. Now there's a bunch of stuff that can go wrong here though. King Hader, hi King Hader. How is it going, dude? Good to see you again, man. By the way, if you guys haven't done it yet, please like the video. I forgot to ask today. This is the first time I'm asking, so you know, if you like the video, a lot more people will see it in the next few days, and I appreciate that because it's helping my channel grow. So thank you very much. We want to return a byte array here and an error, possibly. Wait, where's app settings coming from? Post.go. Do we not have app settings somewhere? I mean, it seems a bit wasteful, you know, but it's weird that Go implementation interfaces implicitly, so you don't have a keyword like implement. You just implement the method. Yeah, it's weird. So I guess it's the same as C++ templates, right? Because in a way, if you think about it, this is what templates are in C++. Like, you can do something like, you know, you have a function that takes a t type, which is a template, and if you call that t type with like a dot function name, it's essentially what Rust does. So it just, at compile time, will check that that dot function name is implemented in that type t. So it's a very easy to implement way of doing this in compilers, I guess, right? Without too much type checking. Which is bad, by the way. I much prefer the way that Rust does things. So with Rust, you have like traits, and you kind of know whether or not a structure implements a trait, because you will be like, you know, you declare like impo this for this trait, which is, you know, kind of what you're talking about. Which other language have you seen that, by the way? Because is it JavaScript, Hamada? Is that what you do? Does JavaScript have that as well? I'm wondering. If C should bind URL. Wait, what is going on here? So if error. What have we deleted? What have we actually deleted here? Ah, okay, yeah, so it's just that we don't have the C here, it's fine. So C we have gin context. Okay. What did you return again? Yeah, bytes and then error. I mean, we should probably figure out what type of error we're going to return, because so far it's like it's going to return the same type of error every time. So yeah. What did you have before? It was like views.make post page, right? So we have the title, post.title, and we have post.content as well in here, right? Yeah. And where's my post defined? Wait, what was in here before? Jesus, I've messed up something. I got rid of too much code. App post. Let's see. What did I remove? Post binding, which just returns the URL. Wait, what is this? What is this? Make post handler. Oh, okay, so we get the post. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I'm tripping. I thought I was meant to create the post structure here, but it's returned from the get post in the database. That's fine. I forgot that I properly, as you do, encapsulated things. So yeah. Cool. And then we can do something like, you know, post view here. And we have the HTML buffer. We simply return the HTML buffer, bytes, and then nil here. Cool. TypeScript has interfaces and explicit impulse. Plain JS is dynamically typed. Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant, like TypeScript, right? Because that's the type safe one. But yeah, I like interfaces that my type implements to be explicit. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It helps on the development as well, because your IntelliSense is going to be able to tell you exactly which interfaces that type implements. But yeah, with Golang and DAO, that you can figure it out though. Okay, so now we've got most things done. So post handler is what we need. Now, the thing is, like, this is a little bit more strange, because this URL, you know, whatever comes in the ID here, has to be checked in here, you see. Ooh, yeah. So maybe we actually need a similar function here, but we are going to check the endpoint. Okay, add cacheable handler. We forgot to do this. Yeah, so the post is a little bit different because it does, you know, we have it changing or a varying ID here. So we can't really use this function straight away, because this only works if the endpoint string doesn't change, right? But the endpoint string does change in this case. So we do need to have some sort of like unpacker there for the ID of the post, right? But that's fine. I mean, for now, I'm going to be very lazy and copy and paste this. So I'm going to copy and paste this here. Add cacheable posts, right? So the method, the endpoint is there. And if I go into my posts, I've got exactly what I need to do here. So I've got a post binding, which makes a binding there. Isn't there a better way to do this though? So what's the incoming URL? So if instead of C, so the endpoint here to get, what if I did c.request? Can we see what the URL is? So request URI. What is that? Oh, I am interested now. Yeah, maybe we can do something smart here and not duplicate everything. That'll be really good. So let's try that. Right, so still things not building, which is this here. Add cacheable handler for the posts. Yeah, I'm going to compile this and then we can see what comes into these functions. Okay, let's see. I'm interested now. So if I do C here, what's inside here? So we have the request, and then we have the URL, the request URI. Ah, okay, so that gives us exactly what we want. Yeah, so this is what we want to put in the cache. So obviously we still need the endpoint here, but what we do need to put in here is like actually the c.request URI. And when getting it, we also need the request URI. And you see why in a bit, because this is going to help us out with the post. We don't need to create a different function for the post because the ID is going to be, you know. Right, so where is it again? Where are we getting? There you go, set cache entry endpoint. So this is the c.request URI. Now let's see if it still works. So we're gonna go here. So the request URI is not cached in the first time. Okay, so unable to step while the previous step is interrupted by a breakpoint. Okay, so we do a cache thing in here. And then we set request URI is again fine. And we returned it here. Right, cool. Now, if I do it again, is it going to be in the cache? We expect it to be. So there you go. I'm going to serve that cached version much quicker this time. I want to do a test after this though. I want to disable it. I want to disable this, the caching stuff, and then just see how well it does. And yeah, we'll do that in a second. We'll do a little performance test, shall we? So I've got this really nice tool called Drill, which is written in Rust, which just bombards the endpoint with like a bunch of requests. We can see how long, how much time we're actually saving by implementing a cache, right? Which is keeping things in memory. Now I suspect that for the index it won't make much difference, but for the posts it definitely will, right? So we'll check that out in a second. But anyway, so now let's move on to a post, right? So we are again in the handler function, and if you look at the request URI, it's post 1, right? So we are not cached, and we got the buffer here, which is good. We create an endpoint, we set the cache, and then we deliver it, right? Now the second time we run this, if we hit it again, it should go through the cache now. And because we use request URI, you see we don't have to worry about what the ID is, because it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, you know, and so on and so forth. And we have the data here cached to us, right? Very cool, isn't it? Now, let's implement something else here as well. So let's do another method of invalidation, right? So we have the timestamp. So Golang timestamp. So I'm gonna put a validity on this, right? So something like 10 seconds or a minute or so on and so forth. So that would be very easy to do. So let's see what we can do here. So this will be time. So valid until time dot what? What's the time data thing? Actually, what time is time dot now? Time dot now. It's a time. It's just a time. Time dot time. This should hopefully invalidate wherever we're creating these things, or maybe not. Yeah, we're only creating it here, right? So we have to say like valid until time dot now add time duration. What's duration? Between two instances as nanosecond count. Okay, yeah, well, let's do what is 10 seconds in nanosecond. 1 second to nanosecond. I can't do the maths here, so yeah, we'll do this. So we are gonna do like 20 seconds, right? Times this. Because what we can do now is in the caching validation here, we also check that it's kind of, if the entrance is not nil, and if the cache is valid, so the cache is still valid, so something like cache contents that are valid until, I guess, time.now, cache contents. Why is it putting cache contents twice? What is this? VS Code is just broken in general. Invalid operation not defined, okay. Oh, we have after here, that's nice. So time, if this is after time.now, so if it's still valid, I'm liking the time functions here in Go, they got it right. They actually have useful ones. And there. Cool, so we only return the cache if it's still valid, right? Else we're gonna remove that, by the way. Else we want to do something like the cache dot delete, I guess. Yeah, delete whatever it is. C dot request URI. Yeah, so we invalidate it here. This is the invalidation code. Cool. Is there a way to put a const here to say like const like cache validation or cache timeout in seconds? Let's say it's 10, right? Does that work like that? And wherever we create the cache, we'll just do cache timeout in seconds, right? Let's put 20 here though. I'll recompile this and see what happens, right? Now we are here, so we didn't hit the cache obviously, so we're gonna create that. Okay, and the second time, which is less than 20 seconds, we should still have the cache and it should still be valid, right? So this is, yeah, this is after. Okay. Now if we wait a little bit, maybe 20 seconds, we can chat a little bit more. So in this 20 seconds that we're going to be waiting for, the time now is obviously going to return something that's after the valid until, so that .after function is not going to work anymore, and we're going to figure it out right now. So let's see, which means it's going to invalidate the cache, right? So we have it here. Now this, I expect this to fail, and it's going to delete the cache, and the cache is now deleted, and everything happened just as normal. We still return this, and then the second time around, it should not be in the cache anymore, right? It's just when you have like database connections, I guess that's when it can become quite bad. Okay, no, we've got a cache implemented, definitely. Now, should we test this out though? That's my question. Should we test this out? I think we should, right? So let's run that little thing I told you guys about. So there is a tool called drill here, which I use quite a lot when I'm doing web dev for some reason. It's quite good to drill into your applications, so to absolutely destroy them with many requests. So I have this here, which will be, what is it? I'm just changing the settings for the benchmarker so you can kind of see what happens when we do a bunch of requests. And let's put, we have add our show index here, and the URL is going to be simply this. Our method is going to be get. In this case, body is nothing. Mid range, okay. So we're going to run this 2,000 times. Maybe we can do even more, like 10,000 times here. And then in the other one, we're going to show post, right? So show post. And the URL is going to be, what was it? Post. Let's do the first one only. And then again, 10,000 times, right? And that's it. That's what we're going to do. And if I'm not mistaken, if I go into That's in my example. If I go into release here, there should be drill. Yeah. There you go. Target release drill. Oh yeah, I mean, not working in this case because we don't have the web server done here. But let's run it in debug mode and see what we get, shall we? Oh yeah, no, this is we definitely don't want any breakpoints right there, and that's gonna mess up with this stuff 100%. Let's do it again. So show post. Oh my god, this is still printing, look at that. This is crazy. It's printing a lot of stuff. But anyway, you can see the show post here. What's the total time? It doesn't say, right? Yeah, the total time for the requests for the test is 9.3 seconds. So requests per second is 2,150 here with this setup, right? On debug mode. Now, if we remove the cache, what do we get? Because that means we're going to be talking to the database, right? So if we just comment this stuff out here, and also, I guess, this stuff out here, without the cache, and if we just kind of run it again, is it going to work? Yeah. So bear this in mind. So I'm going to actually open the notepad and put these results down so we are... Ooh. Cancel there. I've got so many notes for like so many different things that I never delete. I just keep them around in case I ever need them in the future. So this is, you know, with the cache, right? With the cache on debug. Now, don't be surprised if this is actually slower than the same test without the cache, because right, the cache map. But as soon as you get to the post where we have the a lot of database stuff, you can see that the requests here are on average, you know, let's say 2 milliseconds here, and then 1 millisecond for this one here. Now the average, yeah, the average was like 0 milliseconds. So we can see that there's a massive difference in performance already. Well, first of all, we don't even see a DDoS or a DOS really. This is not a distributed denial of service. This is just a denial of service on my own machine. There is no DOS when we run with the cache enabled. But without the cache, yeah, we run into issues. And it's very apparent. And it's what we expected really, right? Even though we have a mutex here. Now let's try this on release mode, right? So how can we... Is it go build help? Let's see. Or go build release. Go isn't a typical. That wasn't expected, to be honest. Didn't think it would be that big of a difference for this amount of DB requests. Yeah, I'm finding it weird as well, to be honest. But you know, it's interesting. Let me put back the. This here, and just make sure, because I am confused now, to be honest with you. So. I mean, it's very fast. Like even the average, when it's working, the average time it takes for the post is just very fast. There is no DDoS in this case, but as soon as we remove those, as soon as we get rid of those lines, the cache lines. So I'm setting the entry here. HTML buffer is still there. Yeah, look, the average jumps up to 1 millisecond, like, quite apparently, like, and then it just crashes as soon as it gets to the show post. That's insane. I was not expecting that. Not expecting that at all. There's a deadlock, isn't it? Like, where is it? Can we pause it and see where it is on the runtime? And pause the application to see where it currently is. I kind of want to see my code where it is, to be honest. Can I? Does it? Which line in my code does it pause that? Is this like each Go routine? So this is how many Go routines it has currently? That's crazy. Crazy. What if I don't like flood it with requests to index at first, and then we... Yeah, let's not flood it with requests to index at the start, right? So let's just comment this out and then see what happens if it's just a post. The thing is, index is actually getting all the posts, which is it's only like 2 posts per database, per this database anyway, because I've only got 2 posts in there. So I didn't think it should be that much of a difference. It's interesting though. Okay, let's run it again. Ooh, it's here. Yeah, no, it's crazy. What the hell? Why is this? This is so crazy. I don't understand what's going on here. The window between this and G's status, okay. Wait, the window between when this G's status changes and when we think is not safe for stacking and shrinking. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Does that mean I can't go to production with this? It just doesn't work. It timed out very quickly though, which is interesting. I'm not expecting that to happen. to be honest. There's definitely something wrong with my code that's like just getting from a database. So the post handler, what is it doing? So get post, this is the main function to the DB. We select the title content from the posts where the ID is this. Yeah, no, I don't see anything kind of too complicated here. Like, everything's pretty straightforward. And I don't see why it's failing unless my database is... I mean, the database stuff is thread safe, right? As far as I know. I remember reading documentation that says it is thread safe for a number of multiple concurrencies on this. So that's interesting. Thing is it trying to connect over and over again? So if I go on my app here, this should really be this, I guess, right? So home handler should really be taking this as a pointer, and same with the contact handler. I don't think that's going to make a difference, but that's something I noticed earlier. I'm not passing the database as a reference. Let's try now. And also, can I do a go run with race condition enabled? Can I use the DBR? Oh wait, one. There you go. Any more errors anywhere? No. No, still no difference there. I mean, it just... What is the issue here, dude? Like, why does it mess up so bad? I'd expect it to recover if it's a matter of a lot of requests though. Maybe take a long time, but eventually go back to normal when... Yeah, but that's the thing, Hamada. This is only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... Like 10 requests. After 10 requests it fails. It should not do that, definitely. It shouldn't be failing after 10 requests. I must be doing something wrong here in the database code. And the cache just kind of hides that. It's interesting though. It's not Templ itself. I mean, it can only be here, this function. It can only be this function. Something is happening. Something funny is happening here. And I don't know what it is. So I select title. And the thing is though, like, index calls get posts, which gets a lot more posts than my get post function. So I am perplexed as to what is going on here. Really interested to know. I mean, I could just, in theory, just put a bunch of logs here, right? So I could just like do logs everywhere. So log info. Yeah, let's do this. Let's see what the hell is going on, because this is interesting though. I definitely want to figure out. So most of them get to 6, except this one. This one gets to 4. So it is here that's failing somewhere. Oh no, it's still going though. It's still going. Did they just time out somewhere? Like... where is it? Remove all these logs now. Let's rerun this. Okay, let's see what happens now. Like this one stops in log 1. So it literally stops between here and here, which means the connection, so like the query, is just like failing. Like what is wrong here? Like, don't understand. Why does this one work? Title excerpt an ID from posts, and then I have title content from post where ID. So the only difference is this thing here, the post, well, the where check in my query. This is bizarre. Like, SQL should definitely hold its own weight for this kind of like query, shouldn't it? Unless like it's my computer being absolutely throttled to shit and not being able to handle this kind of query in the database. It's crazy. See, all of them are like still going through one, so they're all kind of timing out right here. Is this not thread safe? Since role typically request these args of database SQL. It is thread safe, right? So database SQL Golang thread safe. This is crazy. Have you guys seen something like this before? Like where the database just shits on itself after like three or four requests? That's crazy. The SQL DB handle is safe for concurrent use by multiple Go routines, meaning that the handle is what other languages might call thread safe. Some other database access libraries are based on connections that can only be used for one operation at a time. To bridge that gap, each SQL.db manages a pool of active connections to the underlying database, right? Maybe that's the issue here. Can we use the DB directly here? So we have DB. Yeah, we do have that though. Like connection is here, so interesting. let's see how many open connections we've got. Because this is getting interesting. Ah, this is in the wrong function, Jesus. This should have been here. So we have 10, as soon as it reaches 10 connections, that's when we have a problem, all right? So I do wonder if it's because we have the set maximum number of connections set to 10. That's the issue, I don't know. We'll figure out. So db.connections. No. Let's see. MSGF or MSGF. Let's try that now. I guarantee it was because of that though. Let's take a look. Yeah, there you go. So it's 10 and 10. So as soon as it reaches that, what happens? Yeah, I mean, it's still like, when it reaches maximum number of connections equals 10 here, then we have the issue. But like, why does it not recover? That's my question. Because it should, you know, one connection should close and then the other one should be able to, whatever. DB starts containing database statistics, open connections, the number of connections currently in use, the number of idle connections, wait count, the total number of connections waited for, total. Shouldn't it cycle reuse? Yeah, that's what I thought as well though. Can you show the connections? What do you mean by show the connections? The actual like... Yeah, I don't know what you mean, dude. By the way, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, Khan. Total time blocked waiting for a new connection. So what values can we set out of interest? So if we do db.connection.set max idle connections, max idle time, we can set max idle time and max lifetime, right? Max idle time closed. Total number of connections closed due to set con max. Okay, that's another statistics we can do. These two here, right? Are you using the for db close? Ah, that's a good point. I don't think I am, you know. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm closing the connection at all. That's a good fucking point, dude. What the hell? Yeah, thank you very much. I think that would be probably the reason, right? So the for db.connection.close, I think it is. Let's try again. Oh my god, this is the stupidest thing. If it's not there, what do you mean? Do you mean where I actually call the post stuff? So like, this is where I call it here. Let me know what you mean. Has to be where you connect to DB. Oh, you see, that is actually in the main database. So like, I think I just passed the open connection. as a... Oh, what the hell is this song? Like, no please. There you go. Anyway, so why do I do this? So in run, let's pass in. There's a pointer as well. So we have all references. I call it in main. I create it here in my app.run. But this doesn't finish. This function, you know, runs forever until we can't serve any endpoint anymore. But you know, it's here essentially. This is where we pass the database connection. Nope, close here. You know, where I actually create the database is here. That's the thing. So you can see the connection is set to the DB here. Max. Oh right, that's something I set before. I don't remember that. Set connection max lifetime 3 minutes. These are not good settings. Nope, close there. Do I have to open the connection every time? Is that what you're suggesting? So like I close it here. Say I do close it here, right? So db.close. Well, this sounds way too high. Because the maximum amount of time a connection may be reused. Expired connections may be closed lazily before reuse. I think I just copied and pasted this code from somewhere. I don't know where, but say it's a minute. If I close it here, then does that mean I have to open it every time I use the DB? Is that what you're saying, Can? So for example, in my post handler, nope. I don't understand what you mean then, dude. I'm sorry. Can I just open it here so that I can do my DB? I am very confused. Yes, mate, you need to close the connection and you don't need to open again. It's for once. Okay, so I close it whenever I finish with it, basically. So whenever I'm in a post handler, for example, that calls some fucking... let's see. I still don't think it's for once. I still don't think this is what you mean though, but I don't know. I'm just being stupid now, I guess. Okay, that works now. I know, could not generate SQL database is closed. Okay, right, cool. So we are just returning errors, I guess. So obviously the database is closed when you get to here. So this is clearly not what you mean. I guess I can create a new connection for each one of these things and then So for each endpoint I actually have access to the database, instead of passing the connection down, I can create a new one every time. Can you actually check when the number of connections go up? Is it when a query is made? I mean, so every time we're calling the post request, that is increasing the number of connections to the database, and we're not closing it. That's the issue. But I don't see how they're going up. Wait. If I'm just passing down the open connections, so we should use the same connection, right? That was my idea. I'm not sure if that's how you actually do this in Golang. But let me Google it. I'm getting so tired now. I'm not even thinking anymore. I'm trying to send you some bot code. Okay, dude, are you on the Discord? Because if you're on the Discord, I can see your messages, by the way. So try that out. I'll keep an eye out for the Discord here. Golang SQL. When to close connection. So hardest part of Go has been understanding how to organize code. It seems incredibly simple. I've tried anything to run. I'm running circular imports. Okay, using things like DB close. Where am I? It's not necessary to close the DB. The return DB is safe for concurrent use by multiple Go routines and maintains its own pool of idle connections. Thus, the open function should be called just once. There you go. It's rarely necessary to close the DB. When your program exits, then any operation, any open connection is closed. It does not stay open somewhere. When your program exits, then any open connection is closed. It does not stay open somewhere in the ether waiting for your program to start again, so don't worry about it. Okay, cool. However, if you still want to close it, then you can just export a closedDB function with the same name. Okay, yeah, so people are saying that you don't need to close it. That's probably how I came to this conclusion in the first place. Just reuse the connection. Yeah, which makes sense. Yeah, you want to reuse the connection. You don't want to create a new connection every time you hit a breakpoint, hit an endpoint. But like, why does it not close the connections I'm using? Yeah, I don't want to create this one here. So let's see. So get post was the issue. So instead of if I do a minute, if I do like second times, I don't know, 5 seconds or something, right? And then I just run this. Does it recycle them quick or not? That's my question. Okay, now we've closed somewhere we're not supposed to, but yeah, we're not supposed to do that. SQL.close, I don't care. Now this is fucked up. What have I done here? What am I not doing? That's the question. Yeah, this is where I will still hit that issue even if it's like only 5 seconds to hold the connection. And then we DOS. Can, did you find the Discord, dude? Because you can send me code in there, by the way. It's on the YouTube description here. Fucking hell. It's getting copied. It looks like you need to clean up something after the query. I see some examples closing the rows with a defer after the query, but who knows? Maybe it's some example. Yeah, let's see that. So maybe I'm missing shit. It's not getting copied. It's passing down the reference to the original DB connection. Querying for data. The first rows.close, right? Maybe I'm missing this. Maybe this is the magic answer, and I hope it is, Hamada. That'll be the second time you saved me in the stream, dude. Like, so get post, we have rows here. So let's put that defer in here. Okay, yeah, so we defer that. Let's run it again and see if this particular one works. But then I don't understand, how does this one here not mess up? Because it has the same logic, but it gets more stuff. It gets the entire table instead. So there you go, dude. You're a genius, Hamada. You're a genius. It seems to be working a lot better now. Okay. You know, thank you, Khan, as well, but Hamada got there first. Yeah, so, but the question is, why isn't this endpoint messing up then? Because this is what index calls. This here. So I will put that here on the rows. Close my rows. But I still don't understand. Anyway, we can do the thing now, right? So like, we can do the true test, so. But yeah, thank you, Hamada. You're getting a heart emoji there on the chat. Thank you very much. It's the second time you saved me, dude, so I definitely need to thank you. I can't thank you enough. So, yeah, if I go on my app and then I go to the cache thing, and we can do the whole test now. So if we run the whole test, including the index page, and we can finally compare with the caching. Oh no, we cannot, because we haven't run the thing. Let's run drill now. If we never ran these tests, we would have never found this as well, which is definitely a good thing. So without the cache, we can see that it took double the time, even with just one request per post. It's like a very simple database request as well. It makes sense that the garbage collector won't clean up connections if there are any rows for the connection still open. Yeah, I guess it does, yeah. I mean, it doesn't really, because if you think about it, garbage collection, the garbage collector should just kind of figure out that there's no more references to the row here, right? So once this function's done, it should be like, oh yeah, there's no more references to the row, let's close it, or let's finish it, let's terminate it. But I guess close has to be called explicitly. It doesn't like automatically run. It doesn't destruct, right? So closes the rows, preventing further enumeration. Next, it's called and returns the false. Okay. Close is what is even is that word, and does not affect the result of error. Okay. So to me, I still think that the garbage collector should be able to figure this out. It's just a reference check here, like no more references to row at the end of the function. Finisher, well, you know, maybe it doesn't. But yeah, I mean, bottom line is in debug we have a much, you know, a two times plus improvement there, right? Let's run it in release now. So what is the build release commands and go? What do I have to pass to go? And I'm gonna change it right here on my. Yeah, but they have this defer keyword. Probably some stuff that don't get cleaned up on. Yeah, probably. I agree. Yeah, it's probably like not. I'm thinking of C++ here, so I'm thinking like an object has a destructor, and usually library writers will write the destructor fairly well. So like destroy all the data he wants and connections and stuff. But maybe in Golang that doesn't exist. So. But yeah, thank you very much, dude. Like, you saved my life again. Now, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, building release, right? So building a release, we need to look at the toml here. Well, actually, it's just the make file, because we do have a build command there. You can instruct the linker to strip debug symbols by using that. Is that it? You just remove the debug symbols from the binary and that's a release? Like the optimizations are still done automatically? No problem, man. It's cool that it's working out and it's still getting perf out of the cache. Yeah, that's true. How to build and install Go programs. Usually in C++ you have to pass in a particular optimization flag. Yes, the compiler always compiles in release mode. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I mean, we can also put the LD flags in here, right, and see if it makes any difference. I don't think it will, but go build. This looks like it's just a strip for a release. Yeah, it's just a debug symbol strip from the binary, but it always builds in release, which is interesting. There was one thing I was going to try as well. What was it? Ooh, I forgot now. Yeah, when we run the CMS app here, yeah, it says that the engine is running debug mode, switches to release mode in production using env export this. Okay, so let's move it to debug, to release mode, because the engine itself is not building in release, I guess, so it probably has some extra checks and stuff like that in the source code, like some extra features that run. But if we do this, and if we go back to a make file, okay, if we run air now, can I find module? Wait, what? Oh yeah. If we run air here, okay, so this is running air, and I don't get the debug message again, right, from Jin. Okay. Now, yeah, let's see. This is with the cache or without the cache? This is without the cache. Oh, not entirely though. Oh my god, this is confusing. Did I not do this as well? So this is without the cache, right? I should have rebuilt it again for me. Yeah, he did. Good. So now if you run the performance, so without the cache, this is what we get. And without the cache, we get this, right? So, here. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't go up too much in terms of requests per second. But with the cache, let's see. I mean, obviously things are going to improve by a lot, no? Okay, let this build. Okay, now we can run this again. So this is with the cache. I can already see it's a lot faster than before. So in release mode, we have 2.2 requests per second, 2.2 thousand that is, versus 1.1. So again, it's like a good, nearly 2 times increase there. So yeah, we get some good perf out of this, and I'm glad we did this. I mean, it's very good exercise. Now, obviously, the next step is to do what we were talking about at the start of the stream. So we have this very basic cache here, which invalidates with the time, or like, you know, invalidates every like 2 minutes or whatever, how many seconds you put in there. It would be nice to also check that the content changes, or whenever we change the content, we can invalidate the cache here and say, you know, this page is no longer valid. So there is some orchestration to do this with, I guess, the creation endpoints, right? So whenever we modify a post, it'll be, you know, we have to notify the cache that the post has changed and therefore the cache is invalid. Now, one of the other things that I probably will implement as well, not today because it's a bit late, but it's making sure that this never reaches like more than, I don't know, 10 megabytes in memory or something like that, right? So limit it to 10 megabytes or something. This requires me to, I guess, checking the size of the current cache, or keeping track of how many bytes we currently have in the values, and only adding to the cache if we have enough space left, basically. So that is something else that we can do as well. Use Redis. Yeah, I can use Redis, but the point of this is to learn how I would be able to do this by myself, basically. And also Redis is huge, dude. This is like a headless CMS. I don't want to include a lot of like different services just to have a tiny Go binary to run around like 10 different services. This is a very lightweight project. That's what I'm trying to say. So, but yeah, someone's already suggested that before, Can. And we've already had this conversation. By all means, like in production, you should probably use that though, because it's made for that, right? Redis is made for caching, as far as I understand. And there are other forms of caching we can think about as well, though. This is obviously a cache that is kind of done in memory, right? But if you wanted a second cache here, which would be like the file system, where you have like you save like an index, well, a HTML file for each of the cache, and then you just get from that instead. So if it's not available in the immediate cache, we can save it in the file system, but it's a little bit smaller. It's a little bit slower, I guess, for returning things. But it's still faster than the DB to do a file read, I'm pretty sure, right? So that would be like this is like an L1 or an L0 cache. This will be like an L1 cache. And yeah, I guess this is what we could do, right? And so yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we were able to do some of the stuff. I'm gonna push this all now before I forget. Honestly, a LRU cache method covers all of it. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Least referenced units, right, or something like that. So yeah, I mean, that's another thing as well. So you need to do make sure that you only include posts that are accessed frequently. So you remove, I guess, the yeah, you are right. So you remove like whichever's not been accessed for like the last 10 minutes or something. That's yeah. I remember doing a fucking LeetCode interview question on LRUs. It was difficult, but I used the linked list in the end to implement the bread and bone of the things, and it passed somehow. So yeah. Now we have Urchin here. We're gonna check out add basic caching, right? Did I add any new files though? I don't think so, right? Oh, yeah. Saves all the accessed endpoints except form handlers, and only invalidates based on cache on timestamps. Would be nice if we implemented a max memory. What else did I say? Maximum memory, you know, checking if content changes, etc. That's what we're gonna go for today. Now I've got a very good homework for you guys if you're interested in helping me out. So I will create API for this. So I'll post the link here if you guys are interested in like suggesting shit and basically, you know, giving me suggestions and, you know, roasting my code. I guess you're welcome to do it. And this is the link here. I'll post it here on the chat. Feel free to help out. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna have to do a lot more work on this PR. I'm gonna leave it here. I'm not gonna merge it anytime soon. But I've also got a bunch of other stuff, yeah, that I'm currently working on, and it's still work in progress. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for joining, especially for you, Hamada. You saved my life twice in this stream. I mean, the stream would have not gone this far if you weren't here. I would have been stuck for a lot longer. And I'll be streaming again on Sunday, guys, and you know, all the best to you. Have a nice Saturday and make sure you relax a little bit, take some time off, and maybe go out a little bit more. Yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit, and you know, thank you very much. Don't forget to like the video. That's all, and bye bye. Ciao, guys.